A lot of homepage heroes kill conversions without looking bad. That is what makes them dangerous. They look polished. They feel premium. The founder thinks the design is working, but the visitor lands, reads the headline, and still does not get it. And when that happens, conversions leak before the rest of the page even gets a chance. That is the problem I want to show you here. Because a weak hero is not always loud. Sometimes it looks clean and still makes people think too hard. I ran the SalesBricks homepage through my tool, firstfix. Firstfix is built to spot the single highest impact conversion problem first. And here is what it flagged. The visual hierarchy is not guiding users clearly to the main action. It needs a clearer headline, subheadline, CTA stack, and to reduce competing early actions. That is a helpful start. But I think the sharper diagnosis is this. This hero is polished, but too abstract. And that is a conversion problem. Polished is not the same as clear. When you land on this homepage, the first impression is strong. The dark background feels premium. It looks serious, it looks expensive, it looks credible, but then you hit the headline, the revenue platform powering B2B. And that is where the friction starts, because that headline sounds important. But it does not say enough. Revenue platform is broad. Powering B2B is broad. Put those together and a new visitor still has to translate what this thing actually does. And that is the issue. Not ugly design, not too many buttons, not obvious chaos, abstraction. This hero is making the visitor do work the page should be doing for them. That is the bigger lesson here. If your visitor has to translate your headline, your hero is leaking conversions. That is the whole game. The subheadline helps a little. This will help me close deals incredibly fast and collect cash instantly. Better. Now we are getting closer to a concrete outcome. Now I can start to picture a job to be done. But the problem is the visitor had to wait for that. The headline should be doing more of the heavy lifting. Because in the first few seconds, people are not studying your page. They are scanning. They are trying to answer a few brutal questions. What is this? Is it for me? What should I do next? And if your hero makes those answers take too long, you lose momentum fast. That is why this page is such a useful example. Because it is not a mess, it is actually pretty disciplined. There is one main call to action in the hero. The nav is not overloaded. Also good. That is the trap. When a homepage makes people think too hard, it usually loses because clear beats clever every time. Now look at the visual. It is polished. It signals sophistication. It tells me there is system depth here. It tells me this is not some tiny little toy product. But it does not really help me understand the offer faster. It takes up a lot of attention. And unless I already know the category, it mostly signals complexity. That matters because the first screen has one main job: make the value click. And right now, I think this hero is doing more to create impression than comprehension. That is a problem. Because comprehension has to come first. The best homepage heroes do not make visitors assemble the meaning themselves. They do not say something broad and hope the subhead and the visual eventually save it. They make the value click fast. That is the standard. The deeper problem here is that this feels like a company writing from the inside out. And SaaS teams do this all the time. They know the product too well. They know the category. They know the architecture. They know how all the pieces fit together. So they write a headline that makes sense internally, but homepage visitors are not inside the company. They are outside it. They are cold. They are distracted. They do not want to interpret your strategy. The first screen is not where you prove how expansive your system is. It is where you make the value click. Then later in the page, you can unpack features. Then you can show architecture. Then you can show depth. But first you need the front door. And the front door needs to be easy to walk through. That is why I turn to firstfix. It stops me from wasting time on the wrong thing. Instead, it diagnoses the biggest conversion leak where users hesitate. But then the real analysis is figuring out what kind of friction is actually happening. And here, I do not think this is classic overload. I think this is polished abstraction. The page looks good, but the hero still makes the visitor do too much translation. And that is enough to hurt conversion. Most of the time, the problem is not that your homepage looks bad. It is that your message makes people work harder than it should. If you want to see what that change might be on your own site, go to firstfix.dev, paste your URL, and it will show you the single highest impact fix to test first.